Hello everyone and welcome to episode 10. We're here today in the Republic Gallery and we're trying our hands at videoing for this episode. So first of all, apologies for there's a bit of an echo on the sound, and that's just because of the room we're in.
And I apologise if you hear any other noises, because there's a lovely little cafe next door, so you might hear that opens at 10 and it's currently 9:45, so never mind.
You might hear people going in and out shortly. So today we just wanted to talk about the exhibition that we've had and that is coming to an end today. This is the last day of the exhibition, and I feel like that we put so much thought and effort into the start of the exhibition, a preview, and then the month, and then we didn't really think about how we would like to end it, and that's just as important really as how we start it. So we came up with this idea of doing a kind of podcast video on the final day, and a reflection of the month of the exhibition.
Yeah. So would it be best to start at the beginning and start off? Because you could go as far back as talking about making the work, but I feel like we've
done that.
Yeah. So do you want to start off with talking about maybe the preview or the setup of it, even how you found like setting everything up and like curating the space, things like that? 'Cause that's all quite important.
Yeah. So we both felt very much that it was a kind of white cube we were coming into. There's beautiful windows, and there's like the original bar, because it used to be a pub downstairs. But we felt very much it was a white kind of cube, and we wanted to kind of break that space up. So we used material and plants really to try and give it a softer, more feminine look. Would you say that?
Yeah, wanting it to be that kind of soft, a bit gentle, more inviting. Because I always feel like white spaces are very intimidating, and as well it kind of, I don't know what it is about the space. Yeah, it's just creating more of an environment and experience rather than just going looking at pieces on the wall and then coming away and making a bit more of it.
Yeah, and we wanted to try and make it as interactive as possible.
Yeah.
That's so. We had a little notice board for people to put comments up on with sticky notes and questions about aging, how they felt about aging after looking at the exhibition, and also the comments book. We put up a comments book, and we deliberately put in prompts into the comments book because usually when you look at comments books, you get just kind of 2-3 word comments like very nice, enjoyed it, and now we were trying to get more of a response. So we had questions like, what piece of work were you drawn to? What is it you liked about it? Was it the colour, the shapes? So we had kind of questions, and the results of those I'm going to read out a bit later, but we got some great comments, and I think the prompts really helped.
I think as well doing something like that gives us almost evidence stuff to move forward with if it comes to, I don't know, maybe like funding or next event, to show how much of an impact the exhibition's had on people and emotions and feelings, and just I feel like that's quite a nice, just very good source of material to have, good resource to then move forward with, which was really nice. Also some of the comments were really lovely and very heartfelt.
And I think as far as the curation was concerned, we were left to our own devices. We could do really what we want. We had a couple of things about the room. We couldn't kind of stick things on walls, but apart from that we were left up to our own devices, which was really nice. So we curated it, and sometimes you don't get that as artists. Often galleries and that want to curate your work the way they think it should be curated. So that was good.
And I had an exhibition where that was the case, which at the time I didn't mind, but now looking back, having more control about how I want people to see my work, I think is quite important. And just you having that control over just like, how you want it to look, how you want it to feel, and the fact that we could, add the plants, add the bits of colour, things like that, just really, I don't know if a lot of galleries would allow you to do that in a way, so really making the space your own and really making it something that we really wanted.
And also the space, it's a very affordable space, and so this space gets booked up, and it's booked up for the next 2 years, and that just shows there's a lack of this exhibition space in Northumberland. For artists are desperate, to find exhibition space, and it's affordable, which is great. It's a little jewel in Northumberland's crown, really.
Yes.
So, the preview was lovely. It was a invited. What's that?
Like private
preview, because one of the reasons was we'd asked for sponsors to sponsor the exhibition, and we felt like we wanted to give them something special. So they were specifically invited. Those people that kind of donated money to help with the exhibition were invited. And it was lovely. It was we decided on an afternoon rather than an evening, because I feel sometimes once people get into the house in the evening, they don't want to come out again. So it was a Saturday afternoon, and I think we had a small choir come and perform, and it was all women's songs, and that was lovely. That really enhanced it.
Yeah, especially in the space as well, like the sound, how the sound bounced off the walls, because it is such, it's just like a Victorian building, so it's like really high ceilings, there's lots of space, very cold, but lots of space, and so it sounded brilliant, because there was quite a lot of people that came along, and Sarah, who runs, was it the Blue Jam Singers who are based in Newcastle, and they were brilliant. I just thought it was great, and just such like a different element to a preview evening. And again, I've never been to a preview that's had a choir and had a bit more kind of going on than just you come and you have a drink and you have a bit to eat and then you leave. So again, just creating something that feels very interactive, very bringing people together, and it's just a bit more than just your average do.
And that one, we got comments. I heard people say, this is one of the nicest previews that they'd been to. So that was really nice to hear.
Yeah, because previews, they're nice, but they can be a bit boring, I think, if you're not if you're not being a bit involved.
And sometimes I feel like previews are a meet-up.
Yeah.
And so it's people meeting up and chatting because they haven't seen each other for a while. And sometimes I feel the work almost is secondary to that. So this was nice. It was and because we did it over 3 hours, there was a drift in and out of people. So the room never got that crowded. So there was space for people to look at the work.
Yeah.
And then listen to the choir, have a drink and then leave. So that I think that really worked well.
Yeah, and we also made food as well, which I thought was quite nice.
Yeah, homemade food.
Homemade food's
Can't
always
beat
great.
that. Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it, and it was just such a nice beginning of the exhibition. And then we decided to come back on the Sunday just to be around again, because there was some people, I think, who couldn't make the preview, so then they decided to come back the following
And that was
day.
kind of throwing it open. So where the preview had been invited only, the Sunday was a kind of throwing it open to the public. So anybody who wanted to come, meet us, talk about the work, they could do that on the Sunday. And we got a good response from the Sunday.
Yeah, actually there was, because I don't think it was particularly like the nicest of days. It was a bit rainy and grey, but there were people who kind of came out and again, so it's just...
And we did get over those 2 days about 70 people.
Did we? Oh, that's lovely.
So that's really good, yeah. So then, after that, we went on to run workshops each weekend. And we started off with a little taster workshop, and that was all about trying to just get people in. So for £10 they could come in, have a little go at the glass. I found it quite hard to try and get people, but in the end we did get about 17 people doing that, so that was really nice. So we had that going that second weekend. The third weekend we had a poetry evening, and that went really well.
I was ill for doing the taster sessions because I was supposed to be doing a clay little taster workshops, and then on the poetry event
you had alternative plans.
Which I
clashed.
But I'm glad I went, but at the same time I'm sad that I missed, just because that sounded really brilliant.
It did. It took place in the cafe, so that made it much more intimate, and it's a lovely cafe. So we organised the seating so that everybody was kind of looking to the back where the three poets were. We had Kathy Ray, who came up from Leicester. And it took her about 5.5 hours on the Friday to get up here. And she stayed at my house Friday night. But she performed on the Friday here alongside Amy Langdown and Lizzie Lovejoy, who are local poets and artists. They are multi-talented people if you kind of look them up. And they're based in Newcastle. And again, the poetry was just gorgeous and fitted in really well with the exhibition. People, comments again. There's comments in the book about how moving it was, and people really enjoyed it. And also comments about, I managed to get some local people in, which I found quite hard to do, but we got some local people in on that evening. And they were saying how, they want more of this. They want more of this in Blythe, these kind of events. So that was really good. That was Friday evening. And then the Saturday morning, you came along to a writing workshop, which Kathy facilitated. So we did this writing workshop about ageing. And again, we had about 9 people turn up on that one, so that was lovely.
Yeah, really interesting.
Very, very good facilitator, Kathy. The way she kind of made it safe and got everybody talking and gave everybody space to talk. Really lovely. So that was nice. So that was that kind of weekend. And then the following weekend was your clay workshop. I missed, because I did another workshop, didn't I?
Oh, you did the ancestral bowls.
Yes, that was somewhere in that.
That again was really nice. You had 2 people.
We didn't have big numbers on those workshops where the cost was higher, because they were 10, 11, 12, 4-hour workshops, and because of the cost of materials and that, we had to have a higher cost on those. And we didn't get brilliant numbers on those. But I just think it's something that you build on. When you come into a new area starting something, you start with low numbers, and then the word gets out and you build on that.
Yeah, I think so.
So on that last weekend you did the clay.
Yeah, on International Women's Day I did a Build Your Inner Goddess workshop, which was really good. Really enjoyed it. We had a bit of disruption, I think, throughout the day, because people just coming through and wanting to chat. So that was something that I was like, right, in hindsight, maybe we could shut off the space entirely. On the previous workshops we hadn't had that much disruption. There was people kind of coming in,
but they were quiet.
And they were quiet and just kind of
on yours they were very chatty. So
that wasn't the best, but in the afternoon I decided to close off the gallery space and just kind of focus on.
And then that was really
group.
Nice, wasn't it, when you did that?
Yeah, and we ended up giving them like a little bit more time, just because we both kind of felt that like, oh, it's just been so disruptive, so I just wanted some quiet and peace where they can really focus on what they're doing and kind of really get into it.
And it was also because that was the second Saturday the cafe had opened, because they're trialling Saturdays and seeing what they're like. So the first Saturday they opened, it was quiet, but that second Saturday last week there was loads of people in the cafe, and so they were kind of filtering through into here.
Yeah, and I'm had to be like, sorry, we're running a workshop, come back later. But again, I really enjoyed. I'm very new to teaching workshops. I've done a small handful, but I wouldn't say I'm very familiar with it. So for me, that was
like really well.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you think so. Just because again, it's like trying to make sure that you're very clear, very open. Just because again, clay, I'm very like, you do what you want with it. This is just the basics of the skills. But the pieces that the two women made were really lovely.
And when you were good, because you were modelling a lot. You know, as a teaching technique, you were kind of modelling, which seemed people wanted, you know. Yeah. So very good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So that's been the month.
Gosh, yeah.
So
flies over.
So can I read just?
Yeah, go for it.
I just wanted to read some of the comments that have been put into the comments book. I'll just read a couple. I don't want to, you know. So. And also, Kirsty, who runs the cafe next door, she was saying that the exhibition has been really popular, especially with women, obviously, and she's heard as well, lots of positive comments about it. So that's like really nice. And also talk about it. So it's ignited talk, which is carried through into the cafe, which she's then kind of been hearing. So we've got things like resonated really strongly with myself, my current health and disability. Love the archetypal goddesses and imagery. Love the flashes of gold in the pots, glimmers of hope and wisdom. Wonderful always to see women's work shown and celebrated. Glass to smash the glass ceilings. Wonderful, thanks. Bringing this to my doorstep so I could see it. So that's really nice. Then we've got things like, let's have a look. A beautiful, powerful, evocative exhibition. Love seeing the threads and connections that drew the art of Helen and Almudena together. Strong themes of the power and nature of women. So that's really nice. I love the notion of our ancestors, the shoulders we hope to come on, the generations of women who loved and shaped us. What a wonderful exhibition. I love the emotions behind each piece, and especially the small framed pieces. I wanted to find, there was a nice one about, I've lost it now. The connection, the pieces are so amazing to create the feminine symbols into beautiful, meaningful pieces of art. There's quite a lot here, you know. Loved your work and the important message. Thank you so much. Beautiful and touching work. Almudena, I love all of your pottery, especially the one to your dear grandma. I love poetry. Thank you for the joy today. Yeah, so those were the kind of comments, you know, we got, and like I say, they were better than, you know, liked it. It was all right. And those prompts that I put into the book, you know, I think really, really helped as well. So yeah, all good.
So as we're now at the end, how do you feel? Is it that you'd like to, if you have any ideas about next steps, would love to hear that, or even if you just want to talk about just how this whole experience has been for you? Just
Well, that's another thing that I've talked to kind of other artists about. It's like you put so much effort into this. It's been a kind of year in the making as well, the lead up to it. And then it's like you're so focused on the exhibition, and then the exhibition comes to the end, and I feel that here's a should coming up. I should have thought about what's next, planned what's next.
I don't know how you do that though.
No, I feel like you need a bit of a rest.
Yeah.
A bit of a rest now, and then I feel I need to think about where can I take it next. I want to take it somewhere. Because, you make art to be seen, to connect with people, to challenge people's thinking, so where do we take it next? And I was thinking I'll have a look at kind of women's centres, places where women meet, maybe. I don't know if Age Concern, organisations like that might have spaces where you could put the work up. So that's my thoughts at the minute. But yeah, first of all, just to have a bit of a rest, but then to think about where it could go next. Because it's finding the right venue for it as well,
Yeah, and especially because the one thing, although this has been like a really lovely space, for your glass pieces, I don't really feel like they've been really elevated, and it's to do with like the light and things like that. So again, that was like one thing I feel that I don't know if it needs to be worked on as such, but just like because your pieces are so beautiful, it was kind of like
because they're up on the wall. The ones that are up on the wall, you cannot see all the detail in them.
Yeah. And
this is something I was very aware of right from the beginning. Because I had considered, could we hang them at the windows? But the windows have got leaded, they're kind of a grid.
Yeah.
And that would show through the work, so that would distort the work. So my idea is to try and get light boxes made for the wall pieces. I mean, it's cost as well,
yeah, of course.
and time.
Yeah.
But that might be something as well to prepare for, so that the next time I show them, they could be on light boxes on the walls. Yeah. What about yours? Where do you see yours going into another exhibition, or travelling along with my work, and we kind of take the whole thing somewhere? Or
I mean, I would be really open to it, but I just feel like for me, I feel like I need to work on mine a bit more. I think maybe I am comparing, but I'm not in a bad way, but I think when I look at your work, because you've kind of built this body of work around it, and it's very rich, there's a lot of depth to it, and like the reasoning, and it's very clear what you want to say in the work, and like the connection as well between the pieces on the wall, between the pieces on the plinths. That's a really beautiful connection, where I feel like mine's a little bit more disjointed, and I think it's just because I don't feel very clear on what it is that I want to talk about in my work, or what it is that I want from my work just yet. So I would like to refine a bit more of my work and have a bit more time to play, I think, as well, because I think we had a conversation a while ago about how would the illustrations look on more sculptural forms and a bit more.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, and like I was like, oh god, yeah, that would have been really interesting. And trying just to bring a little bit more, maybe like a bit more abstract, working a bit bigger maybe. Do you know what I mean? Having just like a really good time to play, because I love the size of your pieces as well. Kind of, you've gone quite, not massive, but you've gone bigger and like quite bolder, and I would have maybe liked to have done that on reflection, and kind of because they look really lovely in the space, but it would have been nice to kind of take up more space with the pieces, because when I look at it, obviously the plinths are quite prominent, because the ceramics that I've got are quite like small and quite detailed and quite refined in that way, but I don't feel it would have been nicer for them to be a bit bolder and a bit bigger in that sense.
Right.
And overall just kind of working on like why I'm doing art and what it is that I want to say in the art as well. I think I'd like to work on a bit more.
These are continual questions.
Yeah.
They never fully get answered because it's a journey that you're on. And it's good because it's, it's really good that it's thrown up for you, these questions. And that is it's going to take you forward.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to see what comes next from this, just because of I've really, really enjoyed it, and I think as well because I've been in such an odd place in my life at the moment, this has been such a lovely thing to just continually work on, and as well it's been really nice working with you and just having your support, as well as kind of like, I like the I really enjoy like co-working. I mean, I know we haven't worked like really directly with each other, but I've loved that. It really gets me motivated when you're kind of, it's like holding each other a little bit accountable and just kind of making sure that you're doing things on time. Like, I do really enjoy that kind of co-working element. Because every time I've spoken to someone about the exhibition, they're always like, oh, how was it working with your mum? That's what they always say. And I'm always like, yeah, it's like absolutely fine. I had a really nice time.
You don't say, oh, bloody awful.
Because I feel like I'm very easy with a lot of things, and like I always feel like for this exhibition in particular, you had quite a clear vision of a lot of things, and you had a more clearer idea of how you wanted things to pan out, where I was kind of more just like, I'm happy just to be here and hold it a bit more, because I was a bit unsure about what I wanted, so I was happy for you to kind of take that lead.
And I was happy to take the lead.
Yeah, which I quite liked, so it was nice to do that.
Going back to what you were saying before about working collaboratively, I mean, I've really enjoyed working with you. And it's also confirmed to me as well that when I do an exhibition, I want it to be a collaboration of many parts. So that kind of multi-sensory element to it, having Sarah Gray with her choir coming in on the preview, although we're not working together intensely or anything, it's bringing in different people, different elements that enhance what is on the wall, and I feel like I want to continue doing that. The workshops, the poetry evening, it's all these different kind of making it more multi-sensory rather than just putting up work on a wall and leaving it. For me now, that's not enough.
I would agree also, if I ever go forward and do more exhibitions, I think, because of how much you wanted to do, it has been quite inspiring to look at, just because I'm like, oh my god, all of these things and these people that you're bringing together is really lovely, and just organising all of this, and I'm like, oh, actually, because it makes more of an impact, I feel, when you kind of involve the wider community and you're involving more people, and also it's bringing awareness to like the building, it's bringing awareness to the art that's here, and you're giving more space to other people, and it's also bringing in more people to look at the work as well, via the workshops and poetry evenings and things like that. So it is making it just so much more than just work on, not that it's just work on the wall, but it's like you're brought in so many more elements to it, which has been really nice, which I've really enjoyed anyway. And
maybe that helps people access the work as well.
Yeah.
It's so the singing, the choir, the women's voices accesses the work in for some people, where they might not get it kind of just visually. The words of the songs and things bring a deeper meaning, maybe, I don't know, to the work,
Well,
and the poetry as well.
Yeah.
Because one of the comments in here was about doing the workshop in the space with the exhibition made them feel part of the exhibition rather than just coming in, looking at it and leaving. They felt much more part of it. So that was
immersive.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Good. So, shall we bring this episode to an end?
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening and watching. So I'm not sure when the next episode will come out, because I don't know what you want to do next.
I'm not sure.
Can have a think about it.
Yeah, we'll have a think about it.
Yeah.
But until the next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.